Hey friends, it's Laura with Laura's Handmade Haven. Welcome and welcome back. I'm so glad you joined me today. This is part 2 of 3 in our Applique Blocks series for our Sweet Land quilt. This quilt is designed by Lori Holt, and I decided since the Applique Blocks are kind of involved that I would break this video down to 3 parts. So you hopefully just saw the first part, and that was all about matching up your fabrics, getting those shapes sewn and turned and ready for this video, which is our block layout and glue basting for those applique blocks. So let's get started.
That did take a little while to get all those shapes sewn and turned and pressed, but here are all the shapes for one of the applique blocks for the Sweet Land quilt. So we're just going to start laying it out, and I have got to give a huge kudos to Riley Blake because they have definitely upgraded their sew-along guide, because you can look up this block in the sew-along guide and get all the dimensions, all the lengths of your bias tape, and a really clear color layout for the block. So this is going to be super simple. It really reminds me more of how the balloon quilt was way back in the day, and they kind of deviated away from that, and I feel like they're coming back to it, which I really appreciate. So whoever suggested that and got them to do that, thank you so much. All right, so I'm going to swing you down to the craft table so you can see me laying out this block, and just know that I'm using the sew along guide, and I'm using the dimensions and everything they tell us. So it should be quick and easy, somewhat painless to get it done. All right, so to prepare for this, before I came over to the cutting table or the craft table, I took my background, which we should have cut at 17.5 inches, and I folded it into quadrants. So now I have a clear line that shows me where the center of my block is both ways. And I can kind of do that. I can kind of use that to help lay out my block, because one of the first pieces that I'm going to put down is that little, I don't know, it's kind of like a little table topper type thing, I would say. So I'm just going to put that down here. Now this block, when it is finished, is 16.5 inches. So I do have a 16.5 inch cute cut ruler that I'm going to be using to help me lay out everything on the block. The little bird legs, it looks like they do come all the way down to the bottom of the block. That's going to be like in a seam. And then everything else will be pretty close to the edge of the blocks. So I'm just going to start laying this out and start cutting some things, especially my bias tape, based on the measurements they're giving us. And that way we can get this put together. And again, when I look at this block, I'm just going to start kind of laying it out and cutting some things to get an idea of where everything is going to be before I glue anything down. I'm just going to kind of make sure that my measurements are going to work good for me. And that should be the height of the block. So I'm just going to use my cute cut ruler. And I am 1/2 inch from the top and the bottom, which, whew, I lucked out there, didn't I? So that is exactly where I want it to be. I want to be 1/2 inch in on all of this stuff. So I can use that. I can use these 3 pieces here to build everything out with. So I like to use Eileen's tacky glue to glue my shapes into place. And the first thing I'm going to do is just glue this bias tape down. I'm just going to move this little guy just a little bit. And I'm just going to put a few dots down that fold line that I ironed into place. And then I will just put my bias tape on there. All right, so I don't want to move this. Okay, so when I glue my shapes into place, I think about my applique process as well. And I want to know that I want to be able to sew down underneath this onto that yellow bias tape. So I don't want to glue this tip into place. I do want to glue the shape, so I'll glue down here on the bottom. And I may bend this back and put one little dot of glue there. You're not gluing the entire shape down. You don't need to do that, but you do want to glue enough of it that it stays in place. And I'm going to have to use my cute cut ruler again to make sure that I'm on the right place because I did move that flower. And it can scooch up just a smidge. All right, so now I can remove this. And again, I don't want to glue this shape totally on the fabric because I want to be able to lift this up and glue on or sew on part of the yellow. So I'm just going to glue that flower so it's secure enough but not impeding my ability to sew my bias tape. Now this little oval just goes in the center of the flower. And I'm going to eyeball that. You can measure it out if you want. I'm good with eyeballing. All right, so I'm also going to go ahead and get my birds placed here at the bottom. And they do go opposite directions. And their little legs, it tells us in the sew along guide how long to cut those. So I'm going to go ahead and cut those. Now, obviously, we have 2 birds, so we have 4 legs. Now, before I glue these down, I'm going to make sure that my birds are at a place where they should be. And I can kind of look at the sew along guide to see how high they're going to be. It looks like their beaks are pretty close to the point on this. Move their legs up just a smidge. You guys have tall legs. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and put both of my birds on there. And again, I'm going to check it with my cute cut ruler. And I can see that my birds are not positioned the way I want them. So I'm going to move this little guy out, this little guy in. That is pretty good. All right. So I'm going to glue my bird down just a little bit on his head and his tail because I don't want them to move on me. They are where I want them. Now I can take my legs and put a little glue and slip them under. Now, as long as they are under our bird, we're good. Now remember, these go into the seam, so we want them to be, pretty far down here. The good thing about these going into the seam is that we don't have to worry about turning an end under. All right, so there's that. Now the next 2 things we're going to do are our flag poles. These are all straight bias so far. Now our flag poles, we do need to turn one end under a little bit because you're going to see that. So you don't want to leave any raw edges of your bias tape. So you're just going to glue it back upon itself. About 1/4 of an inch is what I like to do. And again, I'm just following the cutting guide. Now these go opposite directions because we have 2 flags. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these little ends here and we're going to snip them at an angle. And then we'll have a one going each way to slip underneath our middle bias tape. Now I'm not going to glue this quite yet because I'm going to lay a few more things out and make sure that this is the way I want it. Now, the other good thing about this is that once we have one block done, we will have a good idea of how all of our blocks are going to look. Everyone, we're doing these, they're handmade items. So everyone's blocks may be a little different, and that's okay. That's the way they should be. Now you're going to notice when I glue this little piece of blue onto my flag, I'm going to go towards the bottom and the middle. And that's just because when I'm sewing around, I want to be able to lift this up if I want to. I may not, but we don't know yet. Haven't made a final decision on that. All right. And those I feel like that might need to be adjusted a little bit, but we'll see how it goes. There's our little bird wings. All right, we do have a couple pieces of curved bias tape that we need to make. I have not made those yet. And the rest of our petals do go on those. So I need to go make that curved bias tape. If you haven't made any curved bias tape before, basically you cut your bias tape on the bias. So you make like true bias tape. And then you will heat it with your iron and just kind of stretch it around to a curve. I will take you with me though to show you how to do that. At the ironing board, our goal is just to put a little curve in this bias tape. It's not to have it the exact shape we need. We just need to put a little curve in it. So I'm just going to heat this up and curve it out. Now I did cut this the length that the sewing guide told me to. And these do go opposite directions, so make sure you think about that when you're pressing your curve into them. One goes one way, one goes the other. But now, since we have this curve pressed into our bias tape, we will be able to flex it a little bit and glue it down in the manner that we want. So basically the goal is just to, kind of teach that fabric how to curve. All right, and this goes underneath here as well. And it just curves out. Another good reason not to glue all of that down. Now, before I glue any of this, I'm going to use my cute cut ruler and I am going to check the dimensions. Now, you've been watching, so you know a few things are glued down, but not much. And actually, I have something glued down incorrectly because this is not right. These are doubled. And I'm gluing just in the center of these circles, not towards the edge because I want to be able to lift those up as I'm sewing. All right, let's see how close or far away we are. And there are definitely some more leaves that go in there, but we'll sneak them in. It'll be all right. Okay, so we know this is the center. Well, we're not too bad, but I think I need to move some things in because I don't want to be that close to my seam on anything. So I'm going to straighten these flag poles up a little bit and move those flags in a little bit, and that will move my hearts in. And then the flowers, I'm just going to move this one in a smidge, and then we should be pretty good. All right, let's check this again. That looks much better, much closer than where I was before. I think that this little heart just needs to move up. Whoops, I just messed up my flag. Actually, it looks like they just have the flags down a little further down the pole. That would definitely help me with my heart placement. Sorry, because I know I'm in your way right now. But it is actually more important to me to get my block laid out. Okay, that looks really good. And when I say that, it's because when I look at my ruler, my birds are 1/2 inch away from the edge. So are my flowers, so are my hearts on both sides. And then these are going pretty evenly spaced. And then these are pretty evenly spaced, and then everything else will fill in. So I'm going to very carefully remove my ruler and then start gluing some things down. I'm going to start with these hearts because they're kind of an anchor. That's my top measurements. And then I'm also going to do the flag. And just that little bit of glue will hold it. I did not glue the wings onto the background because I want to be able to lift this up to sew around the bird, and then I'll do the wing. So when you're gluing, just think through how you feel you're going to be sewing things down, and make sure you don't, glue anything down that's going to make it difficult to sew. And that's going to make more sense when we start appliquing things down, which I will do for you. I'm not going to do the whole block, but I'll show you a few pieces of it so you can understand my thought process on where to glue and where not to glue. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. Now, if you wanted to, and I have done this in the past, you could totally take a pencil and draw your line for your bias tape, and then you would have kind of like a pattern guide to follow. You can totally do that. And it is helpful. When you have this many pieces laid out on a block like this, it gets a little confusing as to what's glued and what's not. You pick up your block, things fall off, and then you know. Okay, so for this curved piece of bias tape, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put some glue actually on the bias tape itself instead of the fabric. And then I'm going to just very slowly lay that down and go around. Same thing for this side. Just a few different little techniques. You might want to pick up, a couple different little tips you can pick up on just to handle different things in different ways. All right, so now all of that, I believe, is glued. And then we just have some fill-in leaves to do. Yeah, so we are almost there at getting this block laid out. Now it's up to you. You can put these, okay, so if you're turning your shapes and your points did not turn out the way you wanted them to, you can totally put the points behind the bias tape and hide them, and then no one will ever know. Or you can leave them on top, and you probably won't notice it either because your applique stitch will probably go over it, but it's really up to you. All right, here is the last piece. Okay, so that's glued. I'm going to let it dry for a little bit, and then we will start stitching things down. So after this is dry, I will walk you through how to kind of break this block down for applique, where to start and where to go next, and we'll get this all stitched up and it'll be gorgeous.
Thanks so much for joining me for the part 2 of 3 in this series. I hope that you picked up some tips and tricks on how to get your block laid out and how to get it glue basted. If you enjoyed what you saw, please make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. That's the best way you can help me out. And also check out part 3. In part 3 of our video for this week, we're going to be looking at the machine applique process for those gorgeous applique blocks, and you'll get the final reveal. Until next time, find joy in all you do, carve out some time for crafting and creating, and remember, it's always better when you make stuff up.